Hey everyone, welcome back to the Creating Change channel. My name's Karina. I'm trying to be here every Monday. So we are up to 24 subscribers again, like you'll see in all of my other videos. I am very grateful, so I will celebrate every single subscriber. So thank you very much for joining me every Monday. So I was at odds about what I would be talking about today, and there was a couple. There was just quite a few topics that I wanted to discuss, but one kept coming up, and that was physical touch, as in like hugs and things like that. And it's very funny. I only realized that it had become an issue for me a few years back when people said, "I know you don't like it when we hug you," and I did have my personal space and it wasn't all that comfortable for me. And obviously now that I'm talking about this and, all this type of stuff, it's starting to make me realize the smaller things. Now, first, I have to say, sharing with you, much like my post I did on the Creating Change Facebook page, which says, "I'm healing out loud because I nearly died in silence." So, for any of you that are feeling that way, please heal out loud, even if it's on the comments. Don't forget, there's power in words. All right, so got that out. Okay, so physical human touch. Let's delve into this a bit. So I'll use an example from my experience. As I told you in one of my previous videos, I think it was last week or the week before, I was an extremely lovable child. Like I wanted hugs and I wanted affection, and I would basically demand the hugs and the affection and the kisses and all the rest of it from my mom. And then when I met my father's family for the first time, my grandfather was this big teddy, and he hadn't seen me in 12 years. And the first thing he did was he gave me a hug. And he's like, "I always want hugs." Um, and then I didn't see my grandfather, and things got progressively worse at home. And that's when I sort of started realizing I started distancing myself. I didn't want the hugs anymore. It made me feel uncomfortable. And I think it was because I was creating this very close space around myself, as if to say, I don't really want your affection. I don't want you to touch me. I don't want you, just stay in your space. And then, when I was going through my really tough time, obviously I wanted affection, but it was on my terms, and which is, not bad. I mean, it wasn't like I had lost the want and need of physical touch. But it was that I think after everything, it just landed up hurting me more and more and more. And in the later stages, it was everyone that knows me knows that if I hug them, they'll hug me, but it's not necessary that they'll come immediately and hug me. Even with my husband, I will go to him when I need a hug. And it's not that he doesn't want to be affectionate. I think he also just respects my space that I've created. And so much so that we'll be walking in the shops, and it sounds weird, but I have to force myself to hold his hand. And it's not like he's mean or anything like that, I have to hold his hand. It's me slowly trying to, improve the fact that I want physical touch. And weirdly enough, since I've been doing this, I'm less opposed to people in my space. And that goes for my husband. Like I used to, we've never cuddled. I just feel like I need my space and you stay in your space, and, happiness. We have two dogs that sort of take over the space in the middle of us. So we have a very big bed. But I think it was he had gone away and he came back, and all I craved was him just to cuddle me. And that's when I started realizing I want that. I It's a long adjustment period, and I'm not saying tomorrow I'm going to be like, give me lots of love, hug me. Um, but I'm starting to notice that while I'm healing out loud, um, I'm I'm starting to recognize that I need more than just my space. Um, yes, I still go very quiet. I've been having a bit of a few rough days, so I don't really want to talk. I saw a very close friend of mine this weekend, and we spoke, but there's so much I still don't speak about. And anyone going through, what we're going through understands that, there's firstly, it's the thought of you burdening other people. Then it's you don't want to look weak, or, which is most of the case, you feel that whatever you're saying, it's like you're complaining or you're a burden to other people because you just have so much to say, and it's just sometimes really it's all bad. Um, so you don't really talk. And one of my childhood friends, if I'm quiet for a while, she'll go, "Hey," on text, and she goes, "Are you doing okay?" And I'm like, "Yeah, I'm fine." She goes, "Okay. When you're ready to talk, I'll talk to you." And then I'll start talking to her. She goes, "I've been worried about you. I just know that you'll talk to me when you want to talk to me." She does on the hand chat to my husband and go, "Is Kaz okay?" Which I only found out recently. And I don't mind that. Sometimes it just makes me feel bad that perhaps I'm being a bad friend. um, but it stems through everything. I think I became independent very early in my life. I cut off contact with, if not all, most of my family. I have on my dad's side, I've got amazing support from my aunt and my uncle. Um, they don't know a lot of what went on in my childhood, and they are, I think, my biggest supporters, and my cousins on that side. Um, but yeah, we always had a saying in the family. Well, my uncle and I were saying, "No news is good news," and I sometimes think about it and go, "It's true." Normally when you get the phone call from a family member, something's gone to crap. But now that I've opened communications, it's not an everyday, it's not long hourly chats or anything like that, but it's a touch base. And even if it's just love you, um, it's an amazing feeling that no matter how distant I've been or how independent or closed off I've been, there are still a lot of people that love me. And I think with the big personal space that I created for myself and the walls, I've been told many times I've got so many walls, um, and people just can't get to me because it's just I make it so difficult. Um, Slowly but surely, I'm pushing the bricks down, and it's not going to happen tomorrow. And if you're struggling with the same thing, you know, small things, small steps, and I'll keep reiterating through all my videos. It's a small step. It's a minute by minute. It's a 15 minutes by 15 minutes. Nothing's going to happen automatically. I mean, I'm 40. I've been struggling with this for my entire life. And only now that I'm putting myself out there, which is very difficult for me. Last week I spoke about suicidal ideations, and it was I actually hit a low, like a very big low. But when I saw my psychologist, she's like, you look different. So the way we feel about how we're sharing and the way the world sees us are two totally, completely different things. We start looking lighter. We might not feel it, but once we get over because I'm doing this, I have to feel crap. Because now I'm sharing my secrets. People are going to know about this. Maybe people think I'm the worst person in the world because I've put so many people through all this shit. Excuse my language. I'll beep that. Um, and sometimes it's, you know, you look like you're holding on. And when you start speaking about it, although it feels inside in your soul, in your chest, and the anxiety, eventually you start getting to a point where you go, people will understand. People might be hurt by some of the comments, but, like they always say, the truth sets you free. And in this case, it lessens the burden of your depression and your anxiety. And it's not immediate. It's not after I do a post, I'm like, oh, I feel good. I feel really tired and depleted, and that's what we're all going to feel. But as long as we carry on sharing and we speak to someone, um, and I've had many psychologists and psychiatrists, and I'm very blessed since we made the move to the coast that I have met the perfect people. And it's sometimes I go to my psychologist and all we do is we chat like we're the oldest friends. And you walk out of the session and you go, I'm actually not that twisted or so far down the line. Sometimes you go there and you cry and you get this word vomit that comes out. But then, like I said, that feeling of touch, that the human touch, sometimes it's not just physical. Human touch could be a heart to heart. And that's what we always forget. That, we might hug people, but when it comes to our emotions, we're like, hey, you stay there. I'll be here. You tell me your stories. That's fine. I just don't want you to know the deep, dark hole that I'm in, or the bad feelings or the bad thoughts or anything like that. So I guess if you have that personal space issue, and it's not because you don't want it, it's just because I don't want to say it feels tainted. I think we feel tainted and we don't want to pass it on. We may have been traumatized where we were seeking the love and we just didn't get it, and eventually it became if I don't seek it, I won't get hurt. And again, this is not only a physical thing, this is a verbal thing. We create space around us where people don't know us and we don't want to speak about it. So always just remember, if you push that one brick down on the walls around you, there's a little bit of light that comes in. And you start seeing that no matter what, you can still keep your protectiveness and to protect your heart and to protect your mental state. But when you start being seen, you start realizing that, and again, it comes down to I'm good enough to share. I'm good enough, and people love me enough that they want to hold my hand and they want to give me hugs and they want to listen. So all I'm going to do to end this, maybe I babbled in a weird way. I am forcing myself to open up through this channel, through after I post, to have the conversations and people go, I didn't know that about you. And then you start realizing the walls you really did have. So if you do anything this week, say one thing to someone that they do not know about you. Even if it's no one knows you love dancing and you go, You know, I normally put on some music in my earphones and I dance. I myself love watching animation. Takes me back to my childhood with the happy memories. And the more I watch it, the happier I get because it's something I love. I love dancing. I haven't danced in a very long time. Because I created this world going, I'm not going to do anything that makes me feel young and playful and we stop living. So start living this week. Do one thing. Share one thing. Hug one person. Hold someone's hand. Just allow yourself to feel the glimmer of love that everyone has for you because you are not lost. You are not unlovable. You're an amazing person. You might have had a rough childhood and you may have had unbelievable trauma, but there are people that want to stand by you and want to support you. We just have to let them. And I say that from experience. I need someone to say to me, you are worthy, you are loved, you are good. Even though I've done horrible things in my life. And I'm finally allowing myself to appreciate the compliments. So if someone says you did a great job this week, hey, you go, thank you. I appreciate that. And you accept it. All right? So that's how I'm going to end off this post. I hope you have an amazing day and week, and I'll see you next week. Please like, subscribe, like the posts if you like them, leave comments. I am opening myself up to what you have to say. So thank you for the great posts and all the great comments personally on, texting and on the channel. So thank you again. Have an amazing week. Love ya. Thanks for watching. Like, dislike, subscribe, and if you want notifications, click on the notifications button. Have a good one.